The cheapest tractor on the lot can quietly become the most expensive one you ever own. That's number one on this list, the sticker price. And it's the exact number the dealer wants you staring at. Because the tag on a Mahindra sits $5,000 to $10,000 under the Deere parked right beside it. Here's what almost nobody runs the real math on. A tractor isn't a purchase. It's a 10-year relationship with a dealer, a parts counter, and a resale market. And across Mahindra, Kubota, and John Deere, 7 hidden costs decide which color actually leaves you richer. Not the tag. The tag is bait. So we're counting down the 7 costs that flip the math, then the 3 machines I'd put my own money on. You price them side by side, and the red one came in thousands cheaper. An E-Max 25 with a loader runs about $15,000 to $17,000. A Deere 1025R with a loader and a backhoe runs $28,000 to $34,000. That's a real gap, and Mahindra earned its value badge honestly. The premium colors charge roughly 15% to 20% more for the same class of machine. But that discount isn't savings. It's a down payment on the 6 costs still coming. Number 2 is the emissions system, and this one has nothing to do with color. The EPA splits the rules right at 25 horsepower. Under that line, you get no diesel particulate filter, no forced regen, no power derate. Over it, your engine grows a filter that clogs and then burns itself clean on a cycle. A clogged one can run past $1,000, and a dealer forced regen runs $200 to $600. That's exactly why the Kubota 2501, sitting just under the line, is the most reliable machine any of the 3 brands make. Mahindra markets some models with no filter at all, using a hot catalyst instead. But a wrench on Tractor by Net put it plainly. The filter tractors run a hot oven now and then. The catalyst tractors run a hot oven all the time. There's no free lunch. And one more thing worth knowing before you panic. A homeowner runs maybe 60 engine hours a year, which is roughly 1 regen cycle. So the filter everyone dreads might fire once a season, not once a week. Number 3 is depreciation. And this is where the cheap tractor starts clawing your money back. A Kubota compact sheds roughly 38% to 49% of its value over 5 years. A Deere 2 Series lands around 42% to 45%. Mahindra doesn't publish a clean number, so I won't invent one for you. But the used lots tell the story anyway. A subcompact Mahindra sells for $6,000 to $8,000 less than the orange or green machine it matched brand new. Dealers who move all 3 peg the red brand, depreciating maybe 10% to 15% faster. So that $5,000 you saved up front, some of it quietly walks out the door the day you sign the paperwork. Dealers describe watching a used Mahindra cross the auction block for around half its new price. An orange machine the same age often sells for close to what it cost new. That spread is your money. Pause here for a second, because 2 of these brands aren't quite what the paint says. That little green Deere 1025R. Its engine is a Yanmar, a Japanese 3-cylinder, Model 3 TNV76. The small Deeres have run Yanmar power for decades. Mahindra's compacts get built by TYM in South Korea or run Mitsubishi engines under the hood. Only Kubota builds its own engines, transmissions, and chassis under one roof. That's not trivia. It's the reason Kubota parts show up fast, and Mahindra parts sometimes don't. Which brings us to number 4. Number 4 is the parts counter, and this is Mahindra's real weak spot. Owners on Tractor by Net and the Better Business Bureau report waits of several weeks to a few months on parts. One owner sat over 3 months waiting on a single O-ring. Another was told a $1,000 part had to arrive by cargo ship. Mahindra's BBBB review score sits at 1.5 stars, with only 1 in 4 owners saying they would recommend it. Now, in fairness, plenty of owners get same-day service, and the worst delays clustered in the supply chain mess of a few years back. But if you live an hour from the nearest red dealer, that's a genuine risk to your downtime. Kubota, building everything in-house, almost never leaves you stranded on a common part. Number 5, and now it's Deere's turn in the hot seat. For years, the knock on John Deere was simple. You bought the tractor, but you didn't fully own it. The diagnostic software that reads and clears fault codes stayed locked to dealers only. Breakdown in the field, and you waited on a dealer laptop to show up. That fight got real. Colorado passed a farm right to repair law. The FTC took Deere to court, and in 2026 a settlement landed that changes the whole story. It requires Deere, for 10 years to hand owners and independent shops the same repair tools its own dealers get. That includes clearing fault codes and restarting a machine after an emissions shutdown. And that settlement wasn't even the only hit. A separate farmer class action settled months earlier for $99 million. So the old bricking horror stories. They're aging out of date, and that genuinely matters when you're comparing green today. Number 6 is the warranty, and this one cuts hard against the cheap tractor's best sales line. Mahindra advertises a 5 to 7 year powertrain warranty, easily the longest of the three. That sounds like armor on paper. But read the exclusions closely. Seals exposed to the open air aren't covered, and the BBB file is full of owners fighting to get claims honored at all. Kubota runs 72 months or 2,000 hours on the powertrain, and Deere sits right alongside it. Shorter on paper? Sure. But a warranty is only ever worth as much as the dealer standing behind it. I'd take 6 honored years over 7 I have to argue my way into. Number 7. And this is the one that ends the whole brand argument at the counter. Kubota runs more than 1,100 dealers across the country. Deere runs around 700, tightly clustered through farm country. Mahindra's network is the thinnest of the three by a wide margin. And here's the punchline nearly every forum, mechanic, and dealer quietly agrees on. The badge on the hood matters far less than the dealer 20 minutes down the road. A great Mahindra dealer beats a bad Deere dealer every single time. Drop your color in the comments and tell me I'm wrong. I'll be down there. The color is the argument everyone has online, but the dealer is the thing that actually decides your next 10 years. Yeah, I know I just spent 8 minutes ranking 3 colors to tell you the color barely wins. But that's the honest math, and your audience deserves the honest math. So that's the trap map laid out. And the point was never to scare you off buying a tractor at all. The point was to hand you the numbers the lot likes to keep behind the counter. And before the picks, tell me in the comments which number stung the most. So here's the other half of it. 3 machines I'd actually put my own money on, each with the one catch you should know going in. First, the value nearly everyone sleeps on, the Kubota L2501. It sits just under that emissions line, so no filter, no regen, no derate headaches to babysit. It's gear-driven, dead simple, and owners run them hard for decades. The catch is honest. It's a bare-bones machine with no frills, and the gear transmission is less friendly for heavy loader work than a hydrostatic. A gearbox like that outlasts the owner, though a hard work clutch might want to split around 2,500 hours. But if you want a tractor your grandkid eventually inherits, this is the one I'd point at. Second, and hear me out here, Mahindra actually earns its spot for one specific buyer. If you plan to keep the machine 20 years and you turn your own wrenches, the whole math shifts. The weak resale and thin dealer network stop mattering much. You're not selling it, and you're not paying dealer labor rates. That long powertrain warranty suddenly becomes a real edge instead of fine print. The catch is real though. Stock your parts before you need them and buy close to a dealer. For the independent guy working real acreage, the red tractor makes honest sense. Third, the gold standard for most buyers. A Kubota L Series or a Deere 3 Series in the compact class. You pay more up front, that's the entire trade-off, plainly stated. But you get the deepest parts network, the strongest resale, and engines with a long-proven track record. Deere's your pick if you want that dealer density and you're already near green country. Kubota edges it if you value the in-house parts and the resale cushion. The catch. Above 25 horsepower you're living with the emissions filter, so learn how a regen cycle actually works before you sign. So here's the whole 10-year picture in one line. The cheap tractor wins the day you buy it, and the premium tractor wins most of the days after that. Which one is right for you depends entirely on how long you'll keep it and how much you'll wrench yourself. Buy the color you love, but buy it with your eyes open on the 10-year bill. You walked in worried about picking the wrong paint. You're walking out knowing the paint was never really the question. Next time, the loader lift number the brochure quietly buries. It's the one spec that decides whether your tractor can actually pick up what you bought it for. YouTube thinks you'll like the videos sitting on your screen right now, so pick one and click it. And if you made it all the way to the end here, go ahead and subscribe.